First one. That was easy.
Did you change something schematically with the run game to have so much success, or was it just Chris and the O-line, doing what
It was a combination of things. I mean, I think that I felt like I did feel like our style of play with our bigger groups against their style of play did play to our advantage. I knew it's one of those deals where they have a great defensive scheme, but it is built to stop tempo and spread teams, in my opinion, and they do a great job of it. But we were able to kind of get into our world and make it more of a fist fight type of game, and that was our intention all along. And they brought it early too, but you're hoping that our type of style of play will wear on them, and at some point the dam will break. And when it does, and you just got to keep going at it. And I felt like we got to a point at the end where we could feel it, and we were gonna. C-Rod was running so physical and so tough, and the line felt confident. And I thought Eli played his best game to this point this year, and I just felt like it just kind of flowed the way we'd hoped it'd flow. And it was a close game early. We made some silly mistakes, but we found our way.
You mentioned that last week we were talking about tempo. That you think that's an advantage for you guys, those speedy play. Obviously, Tennessee is the exact opposite end of the spectrum. Yeah. Why? Can you just elaborate on why you feel like your tempo is successful and why it works in this system?
Yeah, I mean, everyone has their own identity, and for them, their identity is to play fast, and for other teams, and it works very successfully. I mean, we're not going to score 50 points a game, and we're not going to do it that way. Now, we have to be efficient, and points per, like I talked about, per possession are so important. But what was important in that game, I felt like, is like we had the last drive to score points at the end of the half. We kind of drove down there, and then we had the drive coming out the second half, and it was a good sustained drive. And we went down there. We settled for a field goal, but we were able to rip off some runs and chew off 5 minutes. Even the opening drive that came away with nothing because of the fumble, which was unfortunate. That was a 13-play drive. That's still 5 and a half, 6 minutes of football. And although time of possession doesn't win you games, it does help when we can be efficient, and that helps when Will can keep us on the field on third down. So it's a mindset. You got to be very, very efficient doing it, but if you are, it can help you against better teams stay in the game. But you have to be at your best.
Rich, it seemed like y'all a few times tried to get out of the huddle faster, snap the ball quicker. Is that the case? And if so, how did you think the team did executing that?
Yeah, no, I mean, we did. We were able to kind of break and get on them, and there was a couple times on there where, our intention was to, get on the ball maybe and go fast a few times. Again, when you get in certain teams, every game is its own little situation, but again, on third down, they're a very difficult team. I mean, they have a very good pressure package. I would felt like it wasn't necessarily our best matchup in protection with some of the things we got going on with injuries, and so you got to kind of use some tricks sometimes to find ways to go. So on third down, a couple of times we went fast, and we've been efficient in 2 minutes this year. We have moved the ball, but it hasn't always worked out like Ole Miss in the game and stuff. But we've been really good in our drives and getting them going and going fast and stuff. So it's there if we need it. Some weeks it'll be more than others, but it was a good thing, and it did help us, and our guys did play fast, and they were able to come off the ball.
Your receivers looked like they gave you the physicality you've been talking about all year in the run game block.
Yeah, they did, and it was with T-Rob out, other guys got to step up, and they got to play, and they did a nice job. But Dane is one of those guys. He lays it on the line every week. He's a little nicked up. Rasan playing his first time, he was unfortunate at the fumble, because outside that he played a really good football game, and he was physical out there blocking. And Barryon he's got grit. So, it's part of what we ask him to do. If you're going to play that kind of game, your receivers have to be involved. I think Chauncey drew a penalty at the end, and he got under the skin, probably some of those guys. And Caddis played really well in this game. It was his first time playing a lot of snaps, and he's a pest. I've said it before, and he was a pest to them. So I just, we're going to have to win some games down in the trenches like that. We're going to have to be that type of team, and we're going to have to maintain that level of energy and execution if we're going to be successful down the stretch.
Rich, what's to say about your team when you go to Rasan and DeKel in big moments and they make plays? just what's it say about that group, even that you all can call upon, guys off the bench or whatever to show up?
If you really look at this team, if you pulled Will out and you pulled C-Rod out, we're very young, like very young on the O-line, tight end, receiver, all these guys, and so they're only going to get better and better. But there's a great deal of trust, 1 through 5, at tight end or receiver. There is depth, and I do believe those guys are ready when given the opportunity. So it's unfortunate they don't get as many plays as they'd like and touches, but we're finding ways to keep them involved, and they've been ready to go, and I value that, and we can count on them if something else happens to somebody else, So, and these weeks are good. We had a practice today where we were able to go out there and, focus on fundamentals and work with some of the younger guys, and they did a nice job today. It was a really good practice on both sides of the ball. So, I like where we're at. We just got to maintain it for this stretch run.
Looking back on the first 7 weeks, how much grace did you have to have for guys learning them, learning you throughout game speed and game reps, and where do you feel like as you look back on the first 7 weeks, get ready for this final stretch, that you guys are close to the vision that you had back in August?
Yeah, no, you kind of summed it up for me. It's we had a lot of injuries in fall camp. Then you get guys back, and then there's been a lot of injuries along the way. And then, that's football, and you have to deal with those things, plus the youth, plus me learning the league and some of the things that are going on and all that. So, yeah, it's, everyone wants to know, well, the running game looks a lot better. Well, yeah, you got one of the best backs in the country all of a sudden back, and that's what it takes to run in the SEC. Not that those other guys didn't do a good job, it's just he's special. And that makes other people better, just like a quarterback can do in the pass game. So I feel like I understand better what they can do well. I'm getting the feel for the league, what we can handle in game planning, and I feel like, Will can handle an immense amount. It's just, can everyone else keep up with that? And so we have to temper ourselves. I have to temper the offense, and we got to meet in the middle. But I thought, I like where we're at. We just got to take care of the football. We're going to clean up some of the silly false starts and things that are going to be drive stoppers. And the team we're about to play, if you make those kind of mistakes, they'll lap you.
Rich, as you put half a season of film out now, what's the recruiting perception you guys are getting from those offensive skill position guys?
Well, I know we had a running back here this weekend, and he loved what he saw, I'm sure. But, it's just, again, I like our approach in the building and the way coaches always recruited, and I think we're recruiting the best men with the right kind of makeup, with grit, and with football IQ that has talent. And I think when you do that, people see how they fit into this type of offense, and so there is a fit. And so far, it's been great. And I'm not going to get into all the details, but I'm excited about the guys that are going to be here next year. I'm excited about the guys that we have here that are young and going to get better and better. And I'm excited about, who knows what will happen in the future at quarterback. So there's a lot of cool things that will happen along the way, though. We're just focused on this moment, this week. It's a huge game, and I think I like where we're trending, but it's going to be a huge challenge.
What do you tell those guys when they ask who's going to be the quarterback next year?
They got to trust you. They got to trust you. But the great thing for me is that, I had a lot of relationships, so I don't want to get into too much of that stuff, but I know a lot of the guys that from the time they were 12 years old. So there's a lot of guys in the country that I've been able to have relationships with when I was in the NFL that I used to work with. So those things will always help you down the road. So we'll see how everything works out.
I'm sorry. All three of those freshman receivers who played a lot made a really nice play, kind of coming back to the ball and getting it in there. What's that say about their kind of feel for the game and kind of advanced skill at this point?
It's like you say, every day they're out there, they're just going to get better. If they keep working like they're working, they're at their craft, their confidence goes up, their knowledge of the game, their detail goes up. So there's a long ways to go. There's a lot we're leaving on the field, but it is getting better, and I know those guys have the makeup to be exceptional players. But as we become more detailed and they play more football and gain more experience, plus having a week off just to bring their bodies back, their legs back, and bring their juice back a little bit, that helps too. And I think all that, it's been a long grind to this point for those young guys. They haven't endured this kind of football, and now they get a couple days to bring their legs back, and I expect down the stretch run they'll get better and better and play with more confidence.
Everybody good? All right.